Hi all, Raven Azar here again for another Commander EDH Boxing League deck tech. Today we're going to be talking about Tovalar, the Dire Overlord. I'm going to try to go over these guys a little bit quicker today, as you can tell that Tovalar has to deal with wolves and werewolves. So we'll be doing some looking at some flip cards. So I'll try to go over these a little bit faster. So let's begin. This guy here, whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So name of the game is going to be having wolves and werewolves dealing combat damage, right? Okay. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more wolves and or werewolves, it becomes night. Then transform any number of human werewolves you control. So he's day bound. So when it does become night, you end up getting Tovolar, the Midnight Scourge. He's pretty good. Whenever a wolf or a werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Same thing. It's just now you've got this X ability where you pay X and a red and a green, and target wolf or werewolf you control gets +X/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. And he's 4/4, so that's pretty good. He's nightbound. Like this, we're going to be trying to utilize wolf and werewolf mechanic to get some draw in here. So let's rock and roll. First off, we got Outland Liberator here. She's a werewolf. You pay 1 sacrificer to destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's pretty good. She's a little day bound, so when night takes place, she becomes the frenzied trap breaker, and you can pay 1 and sacrifice this guy to destroy target artifact or enchantment. Or whenever Frenzy Trapbreaker attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. That's really good. The ability to constantly be able to potentially get rid of artifacts and enchantments is really good. Running Pestilent Wolf. It's got an ability with an activated ability with 2 colorless and a green, where it can gain Death Touch on the turn. That's pretty good. Also running Primal Adversary. It's 4/3 Wolf with Trample. It says whenever Primal Adversary enters battlefield, you may pay 1 and a green any number of times. And when you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counters on Primal Adversary. Then up to that many target lands you control become 3/3 wolf creatures with haste that are still lands. This is really good in this deck. Help me get that draw. Running Fang Blade Brigand. It's got that activated ability where you pay 1 and a red, and he'll get +1/+0 and gain first strike till end of turn. That's pretty good. Day bound. So when he transforms, Fang Blade Eviscerator. He's got 2 different activated abilities. One of them where he gets the original ability with a +1/+0 first strike, and the other one is 4 colors and red to activate. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. That's pretty good. Also running Sereth Viper's Fang. She is not a werewolf, but her abilities are pretty sweet. Other tapped creatures you control have Death Touch. Other untapped creatures you control have Hexproof. I really like that. Pay 1 and tap her to untap target creature or land you control. This is pretty good. I like that. Running Tavern Ruffian. He's just a 2/5 with day bound. But when it becomes night, becomes the Tavern Smasher. He's nightbound 6/5. Utilizing this guy for that draw power. Also got the Tireless Hauler. 4/5 with Vigilance with Daybound. He transforms, he becomes the Dire Strain Brawler, which is pretty good. 6/6 with Vigilance. Also running Tovolar's Hunt's Master. When he enters the battlefield, like create 2/2 green wolf creature tokens, and he's got Daybound. This guy's really good. When he's all werewolfed up over here. Tovolar's pack leader, right? Whenever Tovolar's pack leader enters battlefield or attacks, you create 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. This is really good. Works well with Tovolar. It's got an activated ability, 2 colors, double green. Another target wolf or werewolf you control fights target creature you don't control. That's really good. This is like perfect in late game. Also from this set, running Duel for Dominance. It's instant with Coven. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, put a +1/+1 counter on each of the chosen creatures you control. Then the chosen creatures fight each other. This is perfect. We like that. Love this card, running Lunar Frenzy. It's a X spell instant, so pay X in red. Target creature you control gets +X/+0 and gains first strike and trample until end of turn. If you have enough mana, you can kill somebody with just this card. It's pretty good. Running Dryad's Revival from this set. Sorcery, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Also has flashback for 4 colors and a green, so pretty good. Running Path to the Festival. Search your library for a basic land card. Put that card on the battlefield tapped and shuffle. And there are 3 or more basic land types among lands you control. You could scry one. Also has flashback for 4 and colorless and a green. It's pretty good. Running Arlen, the Pack's Hope. It's pretty. Daybound. She got the +1 ability here. It says until your next turn, you may cast creature spells as though they had flash, and each creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Soul Scatter -3 here, where you can create 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. That's pretty good. If she transforms, she becomes Arlen the Moon's Fury. Her +2 grants you a green and a red. That's pretty good. And her 0 says that until end of turn, Arlen the Moon's Fury becomes a 5/5 werewolf creature with trample, indestructible, and haste. That's pretty good. Also, from this set, I'm running Renin 7. His +1 says reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all land cards revealed this way into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. 0 says put any number of land cards from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. That's pretty good. His -3 says create a green tree folk creature token with reach, and this creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. That can be pretty darn good. The -8 there, return all permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. You get an emblem with you have no maximum hand size. That's really awesome. If there is a way for me to get the -8 off, I'm going to go for it. That way I can have as many cards in my hand as I want. So that's pretty sweet. These are all the cards I'm running from Midnight Hunt. Pretty good set. That Ren 7 is definitely going to help me out with all the potential card draw I should be getting in this deck. Alright, moving forward with creatures. Let's rock and roll. We've got Max Vandal here. It's a Changeling. What is that? There we go, Changeling. When he enters the battlefield, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, exile target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. He'll be triggering Tovolar. So, pretty good. Running Azusa, Lost but Seeking. She's so good. You may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. That is so powerful. Running Cemetery Prowler in this deck. 3/4 Wolf with Vigilance. Whenever this guy enters the battlefield or attacks, exile a card from a graveyard. Spells you cast cost 1 less cast for each card exiled, or each card type they share with the cards exiled with Cemetery Prowler. So this guy helps with mana reduction. Pretty good. Running Fierce Empath. Whenever he enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost 6 or greater, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your library. This is a pretty good tutor. Wanting Weaver of Blossoms. I can tap her to add 1 mana of any color. If she becomes a werewolf, or she is a werewolf, hello. She becomes a beastly side. She becomes Blossom Clad Werewolf, right? Tap her to add 2 mana of any one color, which is pretty good. Like that. We got Ballista Watcher. I can pay 2 and a red. What is this? Why is this stuff getting in on here? Where's that from? Anyways, you can pay 2 and a red, tap. This guy will deal 1 damage to any target. It's pretty okay. When he becomes the Ballista Wielder, he's pretty good. It's 5/5. It still has activated ability. Will deal 1 damage to any target. A creature dealt damage this way. Can't block this turn. That's incredibly powerful. Help me with getting my werewolves to deal combat damage. We like that. I'm also running Helena and Helena Partners. They have first strike and reach. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is Helena and Helena's power. That creature gains haste till end of turn. This is really good, especially if it's left on the field. Everyone leaves them alone. Running the Hook Hand Mariner. Just the 4/4. But he also becomes the Rip Hook Raider. He can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, and he becomes a 6/4. Pretty good. Also running the Howl Pack Piper. This creature can't be countered. That's pretty good. You pay 1 and a green and tap her, and you may put a creature card from your hand on the battlefield. I love that. If it's a wolf or a werewolf, untap Howl Pack Piper. Activate only as a sorcery. So that's really good. I'm going to be running a bunch of wolves and werewolves in the deck. So when she transforms, she becomes the Wild Song Howler. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Wild Song Howler, you may look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them, put them into your hand, put the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. So that's pretty good. Give me some advantage there. Running Lightning Wolf. It's it's got an activated ability where you can pay colorless and a red. For Lightning Wolf to gain first strike till end of turn, only activate this as a sorcery, utilizing Lightning Wolf to help Tovolar. Running Lit Jara, Glad Warden. It's got changeling, so it counts as a wolf and a werewolf. I can activate its ability by paying 2 green and tap. Exile a creature card from your graveyard, and I get to put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. I can only activate this time. I can cast a sorcery, though. But still pretty good. Going to be running Nylea, God of the Hunt. She's indestructible. As long as her devotion to green is less than 5. Nylea isn't a creature. Other creatures you control have trample, so that's going to be really good in this deck. I also can activate her ability with 3 colors and a green. Target creature gets +2/+2 till end of turn, so that's pretty good. I like Nylea in this deck. Running Placrinos, the World Eater. It's The reason why this guy's in my deck is because we can help win games with its monstrosity ability. Double X and a green to play for monstrosity X, right? And you put whatever +1/+1 counters on there, the X amount. When it becomes monstrous, deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures your opponents control. Each of those creatures deals damage equal to its power to Planeswalkers. So basically, it's like, can be a one-sided board wipe. It's pretty good. Gonna be running Renata, Call to the Hunt. Renata's power is equal to your devotion to green. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. That's pretty good. Also running Tusky, Bearer of Secrets. Spell can't be countered. It's also indestructible. Tusky, Bearer of Secrets attacks each combat if able. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card. Some more of that draw synergy. Also running Goldspan Dragon in here. It's got flying and haste, 4/4. Whenever Goldspan Dragon attacks, it becomes the target of a spell, or becomes target of a spell. You get to create a treasure token. That's pretty good. Treasures you control have tapped it and sacrifice and add 2 mana of any one color. So doubles the amount of mana that my treasures can produce. So pretty good. Running Keeper of Fables. Whenever one or more non-human creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Help me with that draw. Running Xenagos, God of Revels. It's indestructible. As long as your devotion to red and green is less than 7, Xenagos isn't a creature. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains haste and gets +X/+X till end of turn, where X is that creature's power. Pretty good. If you're running Werewolves, you gotta run Everbrook Caretaker. She's so good. 4/4 with hexproof. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control. And when she transforms, she becomes the Howhenge Huntsmaster. 6/6 with hexproof. Other permanents you control have hexproof. Beginning of combat on your turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. That's disgusting. This card is so good in any deck, and just shines in this one even more so. Running Flourishing Hunter. When it enters the battlefield, you gain life equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control, and 6/6. Running the Hydra Broodmaster. It's also Hydra with Monstrosity. Same type of monstrosity as Planeswalkers, except its ability is different. Whenever Hydra Broodmaster becomes monstrous, put X green Hydra creature tokens on the battle. So usually, you build up your mana source and then utilize this guy to help with building such a force that you're going to end up winning the game. So pretty good. Running Beanstalk Giant. It's got Fertile Footsteps as its adventure sorcery right here. It says you can search your library for a basic land card, put that card on the battlefield, and then shuffle your library. That's pretty good. The creature itself, its power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. So this guy's really good. I like him. Running Old Gnawbone in this deck. 7/7 flying. When a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. Really good. Love that. Love treasure. Running Ulamog's Crusher in this deck because Annihilator is so good. Annihilator 2. He has to attack every turn, and he will. Go ahead. Running Hand of Emrakul because Annihilator. And this guy, I still don't know how to pronounce his name. The Tarrasque. Anyways, he's got haste in Ward 10 as long as he was casted. And then whenever he attacks, it fights target creature defending player controls. He's a 10/10. So good. I love my creatures. These guys are so good in this deck. This deck's fun. Instance got Ram Through. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power. Another target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Pretty good. Also running Return to Nature. You get to choose one. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or exile target card from a graveyard. Also running Volcanic Geyser. I love these X spells. X double red instant, and Volcanic Geyser deals X damage to any target. You have enough mana, you can just win. Kill somebody, get him out of here. That's pretty good. Running Blinding Flare. Has Strive. It'll cost an additional red more to cast for each target beyond the first. Any number of target creatures can't block this turn. This is pretty good in this deck. Running Blizzard Brawl. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. Control 3 or more snow permanents. The creature control gets +1/+0 and gains indestructible on turn. Those creatures fight each other. I'm not going to have as many snow permanents as I'd like. Really, this is just for the fighting ability. Running Cultivate. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put one into the battlefield tap, the other one into your hand, then shuffle your library. Also running Disaster Radius. As an additional cost to cast Disaster Radius, reveal a creature card from your hand. Disaster Radius deals X damage to each creature your opponent's control, where X is the revealed card's converted mana cost. Pretty good. That's it for sorceries. Running Armory of Iroas. Really good. Whenever equipped creature attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. This deck wants to attack, so we're going to help it. Running Eye of Vecna. When Eye of Vecna enters the battlefield, you draw a card and lose 2 life. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card and lose 2 life. Pretty good. Help me get some draw in here. Also running Dwarven Hammer. When it enters the battlefield, I may pay 2. If I do, I create a 2/1 Red Dwarf Berserker creature token and then attach this guy to it. Probably won't be doing that so much, but you never know. Equipped creature is going to get +3/+0 and has trample. Equips for 3. Pretty good. That's it for artifacts. Enchantments, let's go. Arachnoform. And then enchant a creature, it's an aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has reach and is every creature type. I can make one of my non-wolf, non-werewolf creatures into wolf or werewolf or both, right? Pretty good. Running Arnie Slays the Troll. It's a saga, so the first stage says target creature you control fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Stage 2 says add red and then put 2 +1/+1 counters up to 1 target creature you control. Stage 3 says you gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Pretty good. Running Druid Class. This card's good. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you get to gain a life. You can level it up with 2 colors and a green. We play an additional land on each of your turns. That's really good. I could level it up to 3 if I want to for 4 and a green after that. And if I do, when this class becomes level 3, target land you control becomes a creature with haste, and this creature's power and toughness is equal to the number of lands you control. It's still a land. So Could be a win condition in the right circumstances. Running In Search of Greatness. Beginning of your upkeep, you may cast a permanent spell from your hand with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the highest converted mana cost among other permanents you control without paying its mana cost. If you do, or if you don't, you get to scry one. This is pretty good. Running Canada's Transformation, because why not? It's an aura, enchant creature. When this guy enters the battlefield, you can draw a card. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a green elk creature with base power toughness 3/3. Pretty good. Running Ordeal of Nylea. It's another aura. Enchant the creature. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then if it has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, you sacrifice Ordeal of Nylea. When you sacrifice it, you search your library for 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield, tap, shuffle your library. Pretty good. Also running Ranger class. When it enters the battlefield, you create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. I can pay 1 and a green to level it up to 2. Whenever I attack, I put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. That's really good. I could level it to 3 if I want to for 3 and a green. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast creature spells from top of your library. That's pretty good. Running Rune of Might. It's another aura. Enchant a permanent. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. If the permanent is a creature, it gets +1/+1, gains trample. If the permanent is an equipment, it has equipped creature, gets +1/+1, and has trample. Running Setest and Training. It's another aura, but it has to be a creature that I control. When it enters the battlefield, I get to draw a card. Enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and has trample. Running Omen of the Hunt. It's got Flash. When there's a battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, shuffle your library. Pay 2 colorless and a green. Sacrifice this guy to scry 2. Also running Snake Umbra, another aura. Whenever you enchant a creature, and then whenever it does get +1/+1, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. That's pretty good. Also has Totem Armor. Totem Armor is really good. Running Dormant Grove. It's an enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. If that creature has toughness 6 or greater, you get to transform. Dormant Grove. Dormant Grove becomes Gnarled Grove Strider. 3/6 tree folk with vigilance, and other creatures you control have vigilance. Pretty good. Also running Glorious Sunrise. It's an enchantment that says at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample on a turn. Or target land gains tap, add 3 green to 1 of turn. Or you can draw a card if you control a creature with power 3 or greater. Or you can gain 3 life. So this is pretty good. Very versatile. Those are my enchantments. Running one more Planeswalker in this deck. Luca, Coppercoat Outcast. Is +1 says, exile the top 3 cards of your library. Creature cards exiled this way gain. May cast this spell from exile as long as you control a Luca Planeswalker. -2 says, exile target creature you control, and then reveal cards from the top of your library. To reveal a creature card with a higher converted mana cost, put this card on the battlefield and the rest of the bottom of your library in random order. That's pretty good. -7 is really good. Each creature you control deals combat damage to its power, equal to its power to each opponent. It's pretty good win condition if I've got enough creatures on the field. As far as lands go, running Highland Forest. Enters battlefield, tap it for either red or green. Rugged Highlands, enters tapped. When it does enter the battlefield, I gain life. Can tap it for either red or green. And just like you've all seen many times before, Tyrite Sanctum. Tap it for colorless. You can pay 2 and tap it. Target legendary creature becomes a god in addition to its other types and put a +1/+1 counter on it. Or you can pay 4 and tap it to sacrifice this guy. And then if you do, put an indestructible counter on target god. So really good. Love this card in this deck. So that's Tovolar. Thank you guys very much for watching. Sorry it's taking me so long to post another video. I just got over COVID, so trying to get back on track with doing this. Let me know in the comments if you like this deck tech. Let me know if I can do anything different. Let me know what's working, you know. Appreciate your guys' feedback. Thank you for watching this. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Like, share, and subscribe if you're interested. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep making these Commander deck techs for my boxing league. Thank you all very much. Y'all have a good one.